name is Chris Zach. It's nice to meet you all. If we've never met, I am excited to be doing this training again with you guys here today. So, today we will be going over what we call Facebook Ads 101. So, I am very excited about this class. Couple topics that we're going to dive into, but this is a really, really good class for anyone who's like, Chris, I know I need to be doing Facebook ads, or you have a basic understanding of Facebook ads and you're wanting to elevate your game as far as just how do I do an ad? How do I do an effective ad? What should I be doing? So I teach two classes in the Real Academy every month. So this is Facebook Ads 101. I also teach Facebook Ads 201. So this is more of an elementary type of a class. The Facebook Ads 201, that's more of a kind of an advanced class, a continuation of this class that we teach. So a little bit about me. I promise I won't bore you with my life story, but I love giving some context. So I am not a realtor. I am on this side of the wall, the real estate marketing since 2007. So I own and operate a company out here in San Diego called Chris Zach Interact. Try and say that 5 times fast. But yeah, we help a lot of agents with Facebook, Instagram, Google, and YouTube ads. And then another really big part of our business is we also help agents integrate that technology into their business. So a lot of you listening to this, you're with probably Lofty for your CRM. Some of you have it set up. Some of you have 7 different CRMs or systems. None of them talk to each other. So that's what we specialize in is helping agents integrate tech into their business and make sure that just when you get a lead, when you have a past client, everything works seamlessly. So if there's anything I can do to help, please let me know. I've been teaching this class in the Real Academy since I was actually trying to think the other day, but there was 1,000 agents when I started teaching in the Real Academy. Real only had 1,000 agents, so it's been a lot of fun to grow with you guys, and I'd love to answer any questions that you guys have. So before we do get started, for those of you attending, I'd love to know what's the main reason you're on this training here today? Is there something that made you want to sign on? Hey, Chris, I want to do this on Facebook or Instagram. I'd love to get some feedback from anyone. What is the main goal of attending this training here today? Want to make
Do you
sure
want
if
us to speak or type it out, Chris?
yeah, go ahead, Pina, go ahead.
Okay. So my main goal was to learn because you hear about all these Facebook ads and all these companies want you to sign up with them, but I like to learn things. So I want to learn how I can work it out because I've
I
seen
love
some
that.
ads, but I wasn't too intrigued with them.
I love that. I love that. So that's exactly what we'll cover. So I'll teach you how to create an ad literally from start to finish. Do you have anything in mind as far as like once you know how to do this, the type of ads that you want to do? Do you have
Nope.
like a listing or a certain type of lead that you're wanting to generate?
Probably a buyer or a listing lead would be great.
Okay.
Anything, any business, because the market is quiet and now everybody's winding down for the holidays. So I figured it would be best. Now would be the best time to learn, right?
Okay. And then where are you located at in the country?
I'm actually in Canada. I'm in
Oh,
Toronto.
you're in Toronto. Okay. So that's good.
Hmm.
So I'll use you as my guinea pig when we get into like the targeting and everything as well.
Okay.
So this will be really, really good for you. So, okay. All right.
Okay,
Perfect.
perfect.
Anyone else? Thanks for sharing that as well, Pina. Anyone else? Any specific things you're hoping to get trained on here today? All righty. This is being recorded, so if anyone does want the recording of it, shoot me your email and chat, and I'll once we get off, I will email you the recording. The other thing too is most of you are should be muted, so if you do have any questions, feel free to send them in chat while I'm talking, and I'll try and answer his questions as I go. Agenda for today, though, why you should use Facebook ads. I am big on it, and when I say Facebook ads, Meta is actually the name of the company. Meta owns Facebook and Instagram. So when I say Facebook today, I want you to think Facebook and Instagram. But I get tired of saying Facebook and Instagram 70 times during it. So I'm just going to say Facebook. We're going to get over how to choose an audience. So you're in Toronto. Who are you trying to target? Are you trying to target local buyers? Are you trying to target people relocating to Toronto? So I'm going to show you how to do that. If you have a specific listing, I am a big fan of the like different type of ads that you can do with Facebook. Just listed, just sold, coming soon, open houses. You need to be doing a ad for every single listing that you have. You're going to get exposure for that listing. You're going to generate buyers. It's good branding and kind of top of mind. But I'm a big fan of doing ads for listings. So if you take away one thing from today, I would strongly recommend every time you get a new listing, you run an ad for it. And I'll show you how to do that. We'll get into how to target a specific neighborhood or city. I'm going to talk about the differences between Facebook ad and boost. To make your life easy, though, do me one favor. If there's anything I can teach you today, please, please, please stop doing Facebook boosts. Stop doing Facebook boosts. They're a waste of money. It's Facebook ads, their poor version of ways to get you to spend money. But the results, the transparency, everything, it's just not in comparison. You can spend literally the exact same money on a boost that you on an ad that you would on a boost, but you have so much more control. So stop doing Facebook boost. They're a complete waste of money. Um, we're going to talk about Facebook Manager and just having your business manager set up so you're a little bit more organized. We'll get into how you target on Facebook and Instagram, and then last we're going to get into actually cost and what should you be spending and what's some realistic expectations. I'm curious, Pina, have you ever had any experience with Facebook ads? Are you having good results, horrible results? I promise you're not going to hurt my feelings.
No, I haven't tried, to be honest.
Okay. So this is good. So I want to set the right expectation with you today because this isn't something you start running an ad and you're going to close a buyer today. So I want to be really realistic with you today on that. So, all
Yep.
right. So what do you need to succeed? These are a couple of kind of housekeeping items, if you will. First thing is you do need a personal Facebook account. We do not run ads through your personal account, but you need a personal account in order to create a business page. So you do not run ads through your personal account. You run them through your business page. So everyone, hopefully, you've got a Facebook business page, an Instagram page for your real estate business. And then the other thing I do recommend you set up is what's called a business account. This is free to set up, but what I want to encourage you, and I'll show you here on the next couple steps. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to visit business.facebook.com and make sure that you set up your account. It takes about 3-4 minutes. Fill in your name, email, phone. It will ask you for a credit card. That's not to process payment for anything right now, but that's just when you do start running ads, they need to have a card on file to process that ad spend. The other thing, I strongly recommend you have a website with a home search and updated MLS. Do not send people to a website that doesn't have it. It is just a horrible user experience. People are going to feel like they're bait and switched if they click on a real estate ad and they're unable to search for real estate. And then last thing, I'm assuming you're here because you want to be a better marketer than you were yesterday. So I love that. I love Pina that you're like I want to know enough to be dangerous. That's exactly what you will learn here today. One of my favorite quotes. It's from Wayne Gretzky. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Every time I do this class, and I've been teaching it for I don't know 5 or 6 years at this point. Every time I do, agents are always baffled. They're like, Chris, I had no idea how easy it was to actually create my own ad. So I do encourage you guys to create your own ad. And if it's like, Chris, this is way over my head, can you just handle it for me? Yeah, we can do that. But the point of today is to empower you and to teach you how to do this, how to fish on your own. So agents are always baffled at the end of this. They're like, thank you, Chris. In 45 minutes, I learned how to do an ad from start to finish. So hopefully you're drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm a big fan of Facebook ads and Instagram ads. I've been doing, pay per click since 2007. And it's something that we do for, every single one of our clients. So first thing, you need to set up a business manager account. All right, so you're going to go to business.facebook.com and you're going to hit create account. Now, if when you go to this website, you guys see something differently than I do, that means you probably have already set up an account or you've at least started to set up an account. And so set this up. As I mentioned, it takes 3-4 minutes. If you do already have a business manager set up, that's great. You can start running ads. But why a business manager? So a business manager is basically the highest level account you can have with Facebook. You can manage multiple people. So if you have an ISA, you've got a marketing director, you've got multiple people on your team. You can manage all your pages, you can manage all your ad accounts. And most importantly, this is also, it gives you the ability to create a pixel. And so set up a business manager. That's what I always tell my agents to start with. And most importantly, it's free to set it up. So assuming you all have your business manager set up, we will basically be ready to start generating some ads. Now, this is something that I am such a big fan of. So I'm going to go off on a tangent here for the next 5 minutes or so. But it's super important to understand why you should be doing some Facebook ads and really what you're trying to do and focus on here. Let me see this screenshot real quick. Okay, Pina, it looks like you've already got something set up. Can you click on Ads Manager there on the left-hand side? And if so, you should be able to be right into your Ads Manager already, it looks like. And you can feel free to unmute yourself if it's easier too right now.
Should I click on account overview?
Um, I just see the one screenshot, but that one screenshot you sent me on the left side, there's like a little toolbar. There's Ads Manager in
Yep,
the upper left corner.
yep, I see it.
Yep, and that should take you right into the ads manager, and you're basically ready to start creating an ad now. Is that what you see?
I see create post the screenshot I sent you, but it says account overview, campaigns, audience, billing and payments, ads
Perfect.
reporting.
Perfect. So campaigns, click on campaigns, and you'll be right in the ads manager where you can start creating an ad from start to finish.
Okay, it says you don't have permission to access any ad accounts for Pina Morella. You can
Hmm.
manage ad accounts in business settings. Okay, let's go
Okay,
there.
so you have to, yeah, you probably have to go to your business settings. Looks like at some point you probably started to set up your account. You and I might need to set up another time, Pina, to just go through
Okay,
making sure your account's set up. But
okay,
yeah, I think you're one step away though. You probably need to click on business settings and add yourself to that ads manager is probably my
okay.
guess. So, you know, all right. So before I would run a single ad, and agents are always baffled when I start drilling them with 20 questions. Um, so before you start running a single ad, I always like to know who is your audience and what are you trying to accomplish. So many agents go into, lead generation just kind of like, hey, I've got a $500 budget. I want more buyer leads here. They don't really think through exactly what they're going for, the before and after, what happens, what's the entire process. Agents that fail and do not have success with Facebook leads, the reason why is about what I'm going to get into here for you. And I would say the same thing applies for all lead generation. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to think about what you want to market. So if I'm you, Pina, I would think about who are you trying to market? So you said I want to target buyers. Okay, that's a loaded statement. Do you want first-time home buyers? Do you want relocation buyers? Do you want buyers looking in condos? Do you want buyers looking in a specific city, a specific neighborhood? Is there a certain price point? So, hey, Chris, I love targeting, move up buyers. Okay, what's that price point? That price point's between, five and 700,000 or 700,000 and a million. So I like to really get that granular before I
Okay.
start doing an ad. And the reason why is you're going to, when you put out an ad, you need to know what to expect back. So, for example, if you do a really generic ad, search all homes in San Diego, for example, where I'm located. San Diego is 70 miles of coast. You've got first-time home buyers, you've got Spanish, you've got military, you've got millionaires, you've got billionaires, you've got people that want to live a little away from the city. You got people that live by the beach. I'm going to get all of those people in when I generate an ad if I was just to go kind of a little bit generic. So if you could really kind of shine a flashlight, Pina, what would it be? What type of specific buyer in Toronto?
Um, it could be a first-time buyer or someone upgrading. I think it would be more on the area I would like to focus on.
Okay. So
Just because
first time home
Toronto's
buyer,
big. Yeah,
yeah, so
sorry.
first time home buyer, what price point would that be there in Toronto?
The average is about 1 million,
Okay.
depending what they're looking for, detached, attached. Mm. about a million, let's say. Let's say between 900,000 and 1.5, if not more.
Okay. So you're like San Diego, where first time home buyers need to be making good money to buy a home here.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So that's really, really good. So what I would do is I would think about what communities, what areas, what cities are a lot of those homes. So is there specific areas, communities within Toronto that fall into that bucket where a bunch of first-time home buyers live together, if you will?
Um, no, they're all over the city. Actually, so a lot of them are moving out of the city. But I would say I like to focus on the North York area.
Okay. You said North what?
York.
York? Okay.
Yeah, like New
That's
York,
perfect.
North York.
Yep. So that's amazing. So right there, you just took this big net of buyers and you shrank it down to like a specific audience. So once you have that kind of that thought, now you can think about where they're going to go next. So for you, you should take them to a website or a landing page where it only shows North York between 900 and 1.6 million.
Okay.
That's what I would recommend. And if you think about it, and I use this analogy, when you shop on the internet, let's say today you went on Amazon and you were shopping for vacuums. Imagine if when you clicked on that vacuum to buy it, it took you to a website that sold cat litter. You'd be like, what are they doing? Like, I
Yeah.
didn't click on that. I'm trying to buy a vacuum. Now, it's an exaggerated example, but real estate agents do that same thing. Don't make me go to your website and then have to manually type in North York, type in 900 to 1.6, type in, an area. And it sounds ridiculous, but internet users are so lazy to where if you don't give them exactly what they're asking for right away, they're on to the next website. So it's super
Hmm.
important to know where they're going to go next. And you want to save consumers a click. And so that's really, really huge. The other thing, before you start running an ad, make sure you've got some good graphics that really sell that. Make sure you've
Hmm.
got verbiage ready for your ad copy. So what I would do is I would have pictures of homes that look and represent that 900 to 1.5 million dollar home, right? You don't want to show mansions off in this ad. You do not want to talk to like those move up like type of buyers. This is first time home buyers. So maybe it's tired of renting, thinking of buying a home in Toronto. Click here to search all homes that are great for first time home buyers. That's a graphic and verbiage you can kind of gel with that speaks
Okay.
exactly to who you're targeting, and it also really focuses on exactly what they're needing. If someone's not interested in a 900 to 1.5 million dollar home, they're not going to click on that ad. That's okay. We're not trying
Okay.
to attract them. We're trying to really just fish for that specific type of a buyer. Um, Most important right here, I cannot emphasize this enough. You've got to have a follow-up plan in place. And so most agents, they have a CRM. Pina, do you have Lofty for your CRM? What do you have for a
Yes.
follow-up? Okay.
Lofty.
Lofty's amazing. Lofty's got an AI chatbot. You can set up, campaigns to where they automatically start getting listings, text messages, and emails
Hmm.
from you without you doing anything. So before I would start generating, these ads and spending money, make sure you're trained on Lofty and you know how to use it, but also make sure that you know what consumers are getting. So when I register and I become a lead, are you sending me a relocation packet or what's your first message to me? So if you're a first time home buyer, I would recommend in Lofty, you send me, hey, thanks for registering. Here's the three things you need to know about buying your first home. Now you got my attention. It's like you're speaking directly to me.
Okay.
Whereas a lot of agents, they're super generic. Hey, thanks for registering. Or, are you looking for a move-in ready home? Or are you familiar with the area? No, talk to me exactly about what I registered for. So super important. You'll notice I'm very analytical with this stuff, and I put a little time and energy into it because doing this, for 18 years, generating a lead's easy. Converting that lead into a conversation, getting them to sign on the dotted line, that's a whole other can of worms.
Hmm.
So this piece is so massive. And so I
So,
always encourage agents to really focus on that and answer these questions before you generate a single ad.
sorry, Chris, just to ask you, do you recommend, because I haven't set it up, well, the drip campaigns or whatever you want to call them, because I wanted to read over what Lofty offers in terms of first time buyers and see how I like if I don't like it, how I can tweak it. Now, do you recommend me using theirs? Are you familiar with Lofty's generic campaigns, I guess? Ooh, I think I lost you.
Nope, I'm sorry. I muted
Okay,
myself
sorry.
there for a second.
That's okay.
No, I'm a big fan of Lofty. In chat, I'm gonna send over their little help guide. But they have what are called action plans, and it's basically a fancy way of saying, hey, when a new lead, or I'm sorry, smart plans.
Hmm.
When someone registers, what can I send them? So I'm gonna send you another link here in chat. And it talks about what they call as their library. So in their
Yeah.
library, you'll see a lot of different things. They've got some for renters. They've got some for, relocation. They've got a lot of really, really good smart, plans that they've already created and built for you. So go through and once we get off, take a look at what they have offered. And, if there's something that we can create customized for you, we do that with about 20 different CRMs for our clients. So,
Okay, perfect.
yep. So, yeah, it's super important to know your audience, think about what you want to market, and then follow up plan. Follow up, follow up, follow up. One
Hmm.
statistic I want to share with you, and then I'll get off my soapbox. The latest statistic, and this was from January, so I'm curious how much that's changed. 18 times, 1 8, 18 times you need to contact an internet lead before they engage with you. So if you are trying to do this and you're like, Chris, I called this lead once and they didn't answer, it's a bad lead. Hey, you've got 17 more times to go. So you got to understand with online lead generation, it does take a lot of follow up. It takes a lot of automation in place to where you're staying in front of these leads. So when they're ready to have a conversation, you're there on the receiving end. So yep. Any other questions before I move on from that topic? But I spend a lot of time on that on purpose because so many agents they're like, Chris, I have leads. Leads isn't the issue, but how can I convert better? That's how. So
Hmm. Perfect. Thank you.
you're welcome. Any other questions before I move on?
Nope, I'm good.
Let me just check in chat here. Check on the live stream. Perfect. All right, keep the questions coming, guys. Um, all right, so next up, now we're ready to create an ad. So what do I do? Where do I create an ad? How do I do it? So we're going to go over the different type of ads. So if you have your ads manager and everything set up and in place, you're going to notice now you have the ability to create a bunch of different type of ads that we have in the system here. So if you hit create, you're going to notice there's a lot of different ads that you can create. So this is right now, I'm just showing you a screenshot. I know for you, Pina, you had to click on the word campaigns to see this screen. What I would encourage you guys to do before you do start is I would bookmark that page, bookmark this link to your ads manager. So that way you don't have to click 8 different times to find exactly where it is that you're looking for. So you're going to hit create. First thing you're going to have to select is what they call as housing category. Now, some of you might need to click on manual campaign. Facebook's always testing new different type of ads. So I'm creating a manual campaign right now. So when you hit create campaign, you might see a different screen that I'm looking at. Hit manual campaign, and then you should see special ad categories right on your screen. All right. So on this, you have to have housing category selected. So housing category is what you need to do. Don't try and outsmart Facebook and Instagram. They will flag your ads. They will shut down your account. And so anytime you're running a real estate ad, you have to use housing. If you've ever got your ad shut down before, my guess is because you did not have that ad category selected. All right. And then now we're looking at all of the different type of ads that you can run on Facebook. So this is pretty cool. So sales is the very first category that you can focus on if you want to. And so what sales is, that's what e-commerce is. We don't do sales ads in real estate. If you've ever bought anything off of Facebook or Instagram, that was a sales ad. All right. Next up is what they call leads. Leads, leads, leads. I am a big fan of this. This is my number one type of ad that I run. So if you're taking notes, Chris says I need to do Facebook lead ads. That's exactly what I would recommend doing. Now, with Facebook leads, we'll talk about why I recommend that. But basically, in short, they're registering on Facebook and then you're bringing them to your website. Okay. So that's Facebook leads. They also have what are called engagement. And so on the engagement side of things, that's exactly like what it sounds like. This is a way for you to get more messages. If you've got a video, get more video views, post engagement, page likes, and event responses. This is a good way for you to just get more eyeballs on your whatever you're posting. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to generate leads or clicks, but it's going to get a lot more eyeballs on it. All right, so that's what's called engagement. You can also do app promotion. So I've got two kids. My kids are constantly getting marketed to. So when they're on their tablet, download this new game, download this new app. That's what this is. Not a lot of our clients are running ads for app promotion, so we don't do any of them. You can do them, but that's just something I like to mention. Traffic, traffic ads. These are my number two favorite. Number two favorite is traffic. So what I would encourage you guys to do is do traffic ads when you're doing retargeting. We'll talk about retargeting on my next training, Facebook Ads 201. But for today, what traffic is think of yourself as a traffic cop. This is what Google, Zillow has been doing for years. You know, when you go on Google and you type in, San Diego homes for sale, and then you see one of the ads that pop up right there on your screen? That's a traffic ad. And so traffic just basically means, hey, stop scrolling on Facebook. So people are on their cell phones, they're scrolling on Facebook, then all of a sudden they see your ad, they click on it and they leave Facebook, and now they're on your website. Okay, so that's a traffic ad. Last one is what they call as awareness. Think of awareness the same way that you do billboards, bench ads, grocery cart ads. This is kind of your traditional old school real estate marketing of kind of the top of mind type of an awareness ad. So awareness is basically you getting out a megaphone and saying, "Hey, I want to get this ad in front of as many people as possible. I don't care if they're looking for real estate or not. I just want to make people aware about me and my brand." So this is a billboard on the side of the freeway type of an ad. Any questions on the different ad types? All right, Real Academy, I think I've answered all the questions in chat on Facebook, but let me know if there's any questions I missed here. But all right, let's talk about Facebook lead forms. So as I mentioned, Facebook lead forms, what happens is consumers, they're on Facebook and they see your ad, and when they click on learn more, it auto populates their contact information. So it pulls their name, their email address, and phone number right from Facebook directly. The good news, bad news about this. The good news is they don't have to type anything in; it automatically pulls it. You'll get a lot of people that will actually leave their contact info here. The bad news is a lot of people, what they do is they actually tend to not update their Facebook phone number or their email address. So a lot of times people will have an old email address they originally logged in with Facebook. They've got an old phone number they no longer use. Most of our clients, they say about 95% of these leads are accurate, but expect about a 5 to 10% kind of bad phone number or old phone number and email address when you do Facebook lead forms. You will get a ton of lead volume, but just keep that in mind. This is not going to be 100% every one of these are verified phone number and email address. That's not the case. So expect about 90 to 95% of these leads to have good contact information that they give you. Um, the other thing I kind of want to exaggerate here that I think is important for you guys to know is, do you know when you're on your cell phone and you go to a website, and my kids, they always make fun of me and they say I have Shrek hands, Wreck-It Ralph, type of fingers and hands. It takes me about 30, 45 seconds to put in my name, my email address, my phone number, right? Whereas this, it auto populates it in 2 seconds. So consumers are so lazy. Facebook lead forms, they do really, really well. This is the number one type of ad that I run for our clients. And our clients have the best success with these ads. So if you want to know my secret sauce, this is it. Facebook lead ads. You want to do Facebook lead forms. You want to do Facebook ads. All right. Couple other options. They do also have ads that you can do for messages. Me personally, I talk on Facebook Messenger and Instagram all day with people. It's a way for me to send, videos to people, so I use it all day, every day. You can run ads, and instead of them clicking on learn more, they can actually send you a message. And so, what's really cool about this is really good if you're one of those agents, you're like, Chris, I hate cold calling, but I will talk on my cell phone to people, text all day, every day, in Facebook and Instagram. If that's you, then you want to run ads on Facebook Messenger and Instagram. Now, here's the downside: speed to lead. Speed to lead matters when you're converting and talking to an internet lead. But with this type of an ad, you've got to be on your game. So, unless you have your cell phone on you all day, every day, and you can really respond to leads really, really quickly, I would not recommend this. This is really good though. It's a good option. There are also a lot of like chat bots that you can use. Facebook has some basic kind of like autoresponders. So if someone does send you a message, you can ask them questions automatically back. But I'm a fan of these as long as you are actually communicating back and forth with leads all day on your cell phone already. Most of you are, but something I like to point out. All right, so that's kind of first big piece of the pie, which is, Chris, talk to me about all the different type of ads that I can run. We are going to now transition to kind of part two of three in this training. So next up is choosing your budget, audience, and demographic. All right, so with the budget, you have two options for budget. The first option is you can do what they call as lifetime budget. Hey, Facebook, I want to spend 300 bucks over the next month. You give them that budget and they'll spread it out. I always get asked the question, Chris, if I give them a $300 budget, I'm worried they're going to burn through that today. No, they won't. They want you to keep coming back. They want you to keep spending money. So they will spread your budget out over the course of however long you run that campaign for. So when you do lifetime budget, you do need to give them a time, kind of a starting and a stopping point, and they'll spread that budget out over the course of, 2, 3 weeks or a month or however long you run that ad for. The thing I like about lifetime budget though is you can run ads on a schedule. So you'll notice right here, and this really applies for anyone. Maybe you've got an ISA on your team. Maybe you're in real estate part-time right now. Whatever the case is, lifetime budget allows you to run ads on a schedule. So you could say, hey, I only want to show these ads Monday through Friday from these times. You can do that with lifetime budget. So otherwise, yeah, lifetime budget. You can always add additional budget, but it's basically, hey, this is how much money I want to spend, and you go ahead and just it's kind of a set it and forget it type of an ad. The other option is you have what's called daily budget. Pretty self-explanatory on that. Hey, I want to spend X number of dollars every single day. A minimum spend, $5 a day. Don't spend anything less than that. If you can't afford or swing $5 a day on these ads, save your money until you can. You just won't see the results with anything less than that. The other thing is, I would not recommend running an ad for less than 7 days. 7 days is ideally the time frame. Now, with that being said, we run a lot of ads for agents, like for open houses, for example. I would recommend if you are running an open house ad, try and run that ad from like Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever you find out about that open house, until the morning of the open house. So I'm a big fan of doing those as well. But yeah, this is something I'd encourage you to do is start small. Even if you have a bigger budget, start small. You can always add extra money. Facebook and Instagram, they will gladly spend more of your dollars. But if I were you, start out relatively small and kind of scale up based on the results that you're getting and seeing. Any questions on the budget side of things?
Do I have a question? Do they happen to know or have the numbers to say when there's more interactions? Let's say between 6 and 7, there's more people on, more interactions, more engagement.
Yeah, good question. So kind of like your question is, correct me if I'm wrong, what are kind of the good times to run ads?
Yes.
Yeah, there's definitely fluctuation. I would say probably like Tuesday through Sunday, people are pretty much constantly on. Monday's kind of the slower day, if you will. But even with that being said, people are on Facebook and Instagram all day, every single day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You're not going to get a lot of leads overnight, between the hours of like midnight and 4 or 5 a.m. But at the same time, it also depends on where you're showing your ads. I'm in San Diego, so if I'm showing my ads to people in New York, I'm going to get people that register at 3 a.m. my time. But no, as far as those ads, people are on Facebook and Instagram all day, every single day.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Yep. Good question, though. All right. Next up is kind of the audience question. Now, custom audiences, we're not going to talk about that today. That's Facebook Ads 201. So make sure you attend that. We are going to talk about locations. So now we're getting into like who is physically seeing your ad. So you'll notice on my screen here, I can choose city, I can choose state, I can choose area. And so the smallest radius you can do is 15 miles, 1 5, a 15, mile radius. That's the smallest net you can cast on a real estate ad. Um, the other thing is you can combine multiple cities or areas or states. If you are doing an ad for the first time, just choose one area. I'm showing this on my screen for training purposes. I do not recommend you show your first ad to people in Los Angeles, New York, San Diego, and Seattle. That's way too large of a net you're casting. I'm more showing this so you can kind of see from a visual standpoint. If at some point you're like, hey, Chris, I want to show this ad to, people in 3 different states. So maybe they're in Toronto, for example. You want to show your ad to, specific people in New York City. Maybe you want to show it to people in Buffalo. Maybe you want to show it to people who, are in New Jersey. Maybe you want to show it to people in Niagara Falls or, whatever side of the wall you're trying to target. The nice thing about this is you can really target specifically in those areas. So really, really powerful. Very first ad that you run, I would recommend you actually cast a 50-mile radius, 50. One city, 50-mile radius in your first ad. Now, I always say this and I always use New York City as an example. Targeting 50 miles around New York City, that's way too big of a net. So know your area, know your market. You know your area and market better than I do. But think about like you want to have a nice enough radius, but at the same time, something like New York City that covers, I don't know, I always joke like 4 or 5 different states. So know your area, know your location. Start with typically one city. All right, next up is what they call is the demographics. So imagine if you could say, Facebook, I want you to show an ad to anyone who's recently been on Zillow. You could do that. Same thing with Trulia. Hey, Facebook, I want to show this ad to anyone who's been to Trulia or Realtor.com or Homes.com. So what they call it is they call it demographics, interest, and behaviors. So think of this as, hey, this is my ideal person I want to target. What I encourage you to do is start with one or two um, actual demographics. So you'll notice on my screen here, I've got Zillow and Trulia. That's what I'd recommend doing. Now I know in Canada you guys don't use some of these kind of these bigger website companies. So know your area and you can just go on here and you can type in homes, for example, and you'll see a bunch of different options. So you'll notice, and I'm kind of gonna pick on you here on this one. You'll notice you can target first-time home buyers. So if I wanted to, I could say, hey, show this ad to a first-time home buyer who's recently been on Zillow. That's an amazing right there. You've got exactly who you want to target in this ad. So I always use this metaphor. People always are, you go to a good restaurant, they got good barbecue, they got good barbecue sauce. Hey, give me your recipe, give me your sweet sauce, give me your secret recipe. This is it right here. This is why Facebook ads works really, really well. Start and keep it simple. One city with a 50-mile radius, choose one or two of these demographics. That's it. Don't overcomplicate this. This is not rocket scientist. So that's what I'd recommend you start. And the other thing too is click on this word suggestions. You'll see what applies in your area, and you'll see all of the different options. So you'll see you could target people who have recently used a mortgage calculator online. You could target people interested in the real estate industry. Maybe you're targeting an investor. You could target first-time home buyers. You could target people who are looking for a single-family detached home. That's something for you, Pina, you mentioned. Maybe you want to include that, or maybe you don't. So, what I would encourage you to do is the first time you create an ad, go through and take a look at a couple of these demographics. But I'm a big fan of it. Any questions at all before I move on? All righty. Next up, as I mentioned, Meta, they own Facebook and Instagram. They also own WhatsApp. But anytime you do Facebook ads, you can actually show Facebook ads on all of their different platforms. So you'll notice here on my screen, you can choose, hey, I want to just show this ad on Facebook, or hey, I just want to show this ad on Instagram, or hey, I just want to show this ad on Facebook stories and reels. You can do that. You could select exactly where you want to show your ads. Now, I always got some client or some agent that's like, Chris, you don't understand my clients. They're not on social media. Okay, I'll humor you. But let me ask you this. Are they on the internet? Well, of course they are, Chris. Perfect. Facebook ads still work. So, what you don't realize, or maybe you do, is Facebook and Instagram ads are on literally billions and billions of websites. NewYorkTimes.com, ESPN.com, every major news, every major website. You know how they have those ads that are on the right or the left hand side? Those are Facebook ads that they're showing. So you can target specifically where you want these ads to show based on, kind of your preference. What I'd probably encourage you to do the very first time is just leave it as is. Let Facebook spend their money. You're going to notice majority of your budget's going to get spent on Facebook. Facebook is still dominating as far as the number one platform. They still get way more traffic than Instagram. Instagram's definitely been catching up to them, but Facebook is still the number one player. Couple things to stereotype a little bit. Facebook, from an age demographic, you're looking at between the ages of about 25 all the way up to 100. Everyone's mom, their mom's mom, their mom's mom's mom is on Facebook. Instagram tends to be a younger demographic. So with Instagram, you got between the ages of, I would say, 15 all the way up to about 45. Now, if you're 46 and you're offended by that, I'm sorry. I'm just sharing some kind of general stats. Typically, Instagram, you need to do more of kind of a video and a visual type of an element, whereas Facebook, you can keep it more of like a text and more of like a picture or an image type of an approach. So if you're working with first-time home buyers, Instagram, Instagram, Instagram. That's the age demographic of where they're at. If you're targeting, hey Chris, I just want to target anyone who's interested in buying a home, then let Facebook show the ad to those specific people. All right. So that covers kind of part two of this, which is the budget, the demographics, and then also, the audience. Any questions at all before I move on to the last part, which is the physical ad itself? All right, you guys are easy today with questions. So this is the actual part that the consumer sees. So everything else that we've done up to this point, that's behind the scenes. Only me and you see that. Now we're going to talk about what the public actually sees. So when you're creating an ad, you have a few different options that you can do. You can create a graphic or an image in three different size formats. So you've got this format. This is more for desktop, people on their computers at work. This is for people who are on Instagram stories and reels. This is more of what they call the portrait or the vertical type of an image. And then you've got the square image, which is this is for everyone on mobile. I will tell you guys, 90% of people are going to see these two. 90% of people are still on mobile on Facebook and Instagram. Everyone and their mom is on Facebook and Instagram on their cell phone, their iPad. So that's how a majority of people are going to see your ads, but you do have the option to create them in three different sizes. Next up is you can do what they call as a carousel. On this, people actually have to click on this, but for this slideshow, I have it automatically going. A carousel is where you can choose between 2 and 10, either images or video. So think of this as a good way to keep people engaged, keep people scrolling through. Um, with carousel, It does really good for listings. I'm a big fan of doing it for listings. So you'll notice on my screen here, show the front of a house. Then maybe, image number two, that's the second picture of, maybe the backyard or maybe the pool. Third picture, maybe that's inside the kitchen. So Carousel does a really good job of being able to display a few different images. As I mentioned, you can do either images or video or a combination. This format has to be square. So you'll notice all of these images, they're square. So that's carousel. All right, next up is video. Video, video, video. I am a big fan of video. We do a lot of videos for all of our clients. We do all the graphic design and video editing. The one thing I will complain about, if you will, with real estate agents, agents tend to do video and they give away every single detail of that listing. So you want to with your ads, you want to tease people a little bit. So if you're doing an ad for like one of your listings, for example, don't have the entire video tour. Just show a little bit of a preview, kind of dangle that carrot, as I like to say. So if I'm filming a video for one of my properties, hey, I'm here in the backyard of one of my new listings in San Diego. Take a look at this pool. This is a gorgeous 4 bedroom, 3 bath house. It's 2,200 square feet. If you want to see the full tour, click on the link below, and I look forward to meeting you. Something short and sweet like that. You do not need to do an entire 7 minute video for this. So for video ads on Facebook and Instagram, they have to be under 59 seconds. That's not my preference. That's a requirement by Facebook and Instagram. And then the other thing I mentioned, don't give away all the details. Always dangle that carrot a little bit, right? Think about, TV and, come back after the commercial break. It's that same type of anticipation. You want to get people to click to where they're clicking on this ad and now they're on your website. That's what the main goal of it is. You're not trying to sell that house on Facebook. You're trying to get their attention on Facebook, and then you're trying to get them to go to your website so they know you and they start to know, like, and trust you. I know a lot of you are like, Chris, I'm not a graphic designer. Help me out here. Excuse me. Two different software we recommend. Canva. Canva is 12 bucks a month. It's really, really good for, I would say, graphic design and some basic video editing. You do not need to be a graphic designer to use Canva. I do not do any of this. I have someone on my team that does all of it, but I will tell you, I suck at Canva. I really do. And in 2 minutes, I can create a pretty nice graphic. It's really, really simple. They have literally thousands of real estate templates. Share Canva with a couple other agents, maybe in your office. Otherwise, 12 bucks a month. It's a tax write-off. Does really, really good for social media posts as well. CapCut. CapCut's better for the video side of things, especially social media videos. They've got some really cool AI where it'll automatically pull in some like, closed caption, for example, some little tips and tricks on making your video a little bit better. But these are just two editing apps that, our company we use. My guy, he also uses Photoshop and, Adobe Illustrator and all of that. But for most agents, use Canva. Everything that you saw, on my screen here today that I've shared, was created in Canva. So really, really simple. Any other questions at all? Otherwise, we're going to get into writing the ad and we'll wrap up with this here. All right. So last part here, guys. We got the graphic, we got the visual side. Now let's actually write the ad copy. So what you need to do is actually three things on these ads. So you've got what's called the headline. The headline is going to be 7 or 8 words max. You've got what they call as the primary text. Primary text goes above the image or video. And then the last thing, it's optional. You have a description. The description is going to go down here. With the headline, keep this headline short and sweet, 7 or 8 words. This is not you telling a life story about that property or that listing. Primary text, I say keep it 2 to 3 sentences max. Don't just copy and paste the entire MLS description here. Get a little more creative. And so for those of you taking notes, want to take a screenshot of this. This is my secret sauce. So these are some good example headlines. So headlines, you'll notice just listed home in San Diego. Search all San Diego homes. oceanfront condos for sale, golf course properties for sale. Now, the one caveat is do not run this oceanfront condos in other areas other than your own. So for you, Pina, for example, if you're trying to target people in New York City, maybe you don't want to advertise, click here to view all homes for sale in this price point. So keep in mind if you do need to mention the name of the city or area if you're doing out of area ads. But if it's just you're just showing it to people locally, so I'm in San Diego, I could use the headline oceanfront condos for sale. Does that make sense? So that's an example of headlines. The other thing you'll notice I use emojis. I'm a 42-year-old single dad, and it is still awkward for me to use emojis. But guess what? They work. They work, they work, they work. I don't care how you feel about them. You will get more engagement, more clicks, more leads if you use emojis. So just do it. I promise you, you'll get better results than not using them. Next up is what you got is primary text. Now, headline is to try and get them to read the primary text. So the goal of the headline is to get them to go up here and read that. That's what the consumer's eye does. So you're going to reiterate that headline, just listed in San Diego. Then I'm going to give them a little bit more info on this property. Now, this is just an example for kind of training purposes. I would add probably one or two extra little, kind of snippets about this property. Gorgeous three and a half, 3 bed, 3.5 bath home priced at 998. Located in the gorgeous community of Rancho Penasquitas in the Poway School District. Click learn more below to see all details. Don't put the entire MLS description here. If there's something unique about that property, it was a brand new home. Maybe it's a pool home. Whatever amenities, features, stuff that's, to a lot of people. So maybe it's acreage in your market. Maybe it's equestrian properties are really, really important in your market. Whatever it is, I would encourage you to just add maybe one little extra sentence right here. The last piece, and this is a very, very important piece, you've got to tell people what to do. Internet users, as I mentioned today a couple times, they're so quick to just scroll through and click. They'll read content, but I like to use the ET analogy. You know, in the movie ET, when he starts to drop all those Reese's pieces, you want to do that with these consumers. Once they read the ad, you need to tell them what they need to do. So, Pina, click learn more to see more details about this property and others like it for sale in San Diego. You want to tell them what they need to do next. When we added this in, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, we literally doubled our click through rate. We got twice as many clicks just by telling people, you need to click on this button now. Tell people what they need to do. And then there's just an example of a completed ad here. And then they do have what they call as a call to action button. CZI, name of our company, Chris Sack Interact. Some of our favorites that we use, Learn More is the number one I use, I would say on 80% of my ads. We also use Download Now and Get Access. Give you an example, if you're doing like a generic ad like Pina, you're thinking of doing, get access to exclusive list of all homes in Toronto between this price point. Click Get Access Now. That would be a good example. Download Now, we do a lot of buyer and seller guides. Hey, if you're thinking of selling your home in the next 6 months, download our free seller's guide. Click Download Now. And so that call to action button. And then the very last thing that you'll need to do is you'll need to put in where they're going to go next. So once they do become a lead, you want to send them somewhere. So you're going to need to tell them where to go. You'll notice here, and I put it in caps locked, trying to yell at you on purpose. Do not take people to the homepage. If I registered for more info on 123 Main Street, take me to 123 Main Street. Internet users are lazy. They will not go to your website, nor will they remember, oh, what was the address of that property I just clicked on? So save them a click. If I registered to see all houses in Toronto between 900 and 1.5 million, the next thing I better see should be homes in Toronto between 900 and 1.5 million. Save consumers a click, and then you are ready to publish that ad in high five. Very first time you're going to publish an ad, it should go live pretty quickly. But at the most, it shouldn't take more than I would say 5, 10 minutes for that ad to go live. And as I mentioned, start small with your marketing budget. Start $5 a day. If there's anything we can do to help you guys, we do Facebook, Instagram, Google, and YouTube ads. Feel free to scan that QR code if you are needing some help or you're like, Chris, can I just schedule a time, to you to look at my ads? I want to think about doing something in the new year. The other thing is we only do real estate marketing. That's our bread and butter. We post on social media a lot of different things that we're testing. So follow us on social media. And then last thing, if you kind of enjoy my teaching style, I send out an email newsletter twice a month. I promise it's not spam. The last email we sent out was how to get more reviews in real estate. So we're always thinking of ways to help agents. If you do sign up for our newsletter, just check your email right away. You will need to confirm your email, otherwise, we will not send you anything. But I hope you guys found this training helpful. One last shameless plug. Facebook Ads 201. I teach 2 classes every month in the Real Academy. Facebook Ads 101 is the first Thursday. Facebook Ads 201 is the third Thursday of every month. So hopefully you guys found this helpful. Feel free to reach out to me for any other questions. I'm going to hang out for about another 2 or 3 minutes, answer any questions. But otherwise, if you do want the recording, send me your email address in chat. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for attending. And hope you guys all have a happy holidays. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, guys. Will do, Pina. Thank you so much. Thanks for attending and your feedback today. I'll shoot over the recording on YouTube here in about 30 minutes once it gets uploaded.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Any other questions at all? All right, guys. Well, thanks for attending. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for attending today.